y'all doing? How y'all doing? Let me see. What it do, what it do, what it do. Let's see if I can get back in the algorithm. Let me see. Now, wait a minute. Hey, what up with y'all? What up, YouTube? What up? Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Hey, Therapy, how are you? I guess I gotta get back on my grind, Therapy, with this YouTube bullshit. I hope this subject is not, because I'm talking about my city. Oh, thank you, Therapy. Damn. So I'm just talking about my city, then I'm coming back with the collapse of New York City. Thank you for hitting that like button. Yep, I got my hair done today. You see my edges going back? And I think I got that sound together, Therapy. It's not like it used to be. My son did something with the beat, beat, beat. You hear anything? I just heard it. He supposed that did something with it. Hey, Samaya, what's up? All right. So we dealing with my city, Detroit. What up? How to lose arm fat? What the fuck I'm talking about Detroit? What do you mean? Do my arm look fat to you? So the top story generated in Detroit right now is this 13-year-old accused of shooting his father while stealing an SUV. He left Detroit and went to Ohio. Oh, you just asking a question. I'm not a coach either. I'm not a coach. Do I look like a coach? Right, Therapy. Yeah, you call me a coach. I know I don't look like a coach. Thank you, Deja. So, this 13-year-old shot his father, stole the SUV, and fled Detroit and went to Ohio. How is that even possible? This was going on around my city. Bitch, you stupid hoe. You stupid. Y'all can mute her or some therapy, do something. A 13-year-old boy accused of shooting his father in Detroit and fled in his father's SUV may face additional charges in Ohio. Detroit Police Chief Todd Besson said during his annual Walk a Mile Wednesday. Thank you. Thank you. Now, this 13-year-old boy, police said the boy was being disciplined by his father when he grabbed a gun and shot him in the back. What is wrong with these kids? This boy is 13. This happened in Detroit just yesterday. That's why I said I'm going to do something on my city. Because I don't understand. You wrong, your daddy just, and you shot him in the back. The boy then took the family dog. Right therapy. The boy then took the family dog and fled in his father's SUV. He was arrested about 5 hours later in Ohio. How did the 13-year-old even know how to drive and get to Ohio? How? Betson said police are working with Ohio officials to determine how the case will proceed and whether the boy will face additional charges there before being returned back to Michigan. Hey, Edward. He black. His father was disciplining him, and he went and got a gun and shot his daddy in the back, then stole his SUV and drove to Ohio. It's a process where he committed some crimes in Ohio. So we're working on getting him back here to Michigan. But the conversation that we're having with Ohio, because they want to process him on some of those charges as well. So now he's 13, he facing charges in Ohio and Detroit. Besson said the boy's father remains hospitalized. Police describe his injuries as non-life-threatening. The investigation remains ongoing as officials work to determine the full circumstances surrounding the shooting and the boy's flight into Ohio. Additional charges could be filed. Right. Okay, I see your point, therapy. And this happened on Detroit's west side. So then we had our annual Woodward Dream Cruise with all the old cars. So I'm not going to talk about that. So you know Detroit is the automobile capital. So now we got something going on. Oh shit, hold on. Detroit automakers fear the North American trade deal could result in them losing their jobs. So that's another big thing that's happening. Domino's was birthed in Detroit. I don't know if they got a Domino's down in Texas, but it started all in Detroit. They got a new pizza. And we're going to do a little history. We only got an hour, so this is just something fun to do. Let me see. Okay, we just going to go straight to the videos. That's what we going to do. So like I said, this is the title of Detroit latest news and what's going on around my city. Because there's always some shit going on in Detroit, right? I love you so much. All right, let's get into it. Detroit was the third richest city in the world. I was shocked to find this out. The third richest city in the world. This is a little history. Oh, wait a minute. It's not coming up. Oh, shit. What did I hit? Hold on, I'm having technical difficulties. Here we go.
Detroit is the craziest story. If you know the story about Detroit, like in the 1950s and 60s, it was the third richest city in the world. It was called the Paris of the Midwest. And it's a city that's still built for 7 million people with supposedly 700,000 living in it. I mean, so you do see a lot of like, how is there like $1 million condo in the same place that has like 8 abandoned other apartments? When you go downtown, it makes no sense logistically. You ever watch that show Top Gear? Oh, yeah. They went to Detroit and they bought a house for $500. Anybody that thinks you should allow corporations to just take all the jobs and move them overseas. Look at Detroit.
Right.
Look what they did. Detroit is the craziest story. If you know the story about Detroit, like in the 1950s and 60s.
And that's a fact, because when the automobile industry crashed in the 80s, a lot of people lost their job under Reagan. I remember my mama lost her job. Our car got repoed. Back then, you had a landline. Phone got cut off. And therapy, I don't know, you remember the pay phone? So we would have to go and use the pay phone back then. And that's just about when crack was coming out. Detroit was decimated in the 80s. It was decimated. And to find out that we was the third richest, them pay phone, yep. And to find out that Detroit was the third richest city in the world back then. And the population, white people is going back in floods. They moving in the ghetto neighborhoods now. Oh, they gentrifying like a mug. And listen, and if you think white folks are scared of black people, no, they not. They moving in some rough areas right now. They are gentrifying Detroit left and right. But the downtown, they have really did a lot. But some of these areas where these white folk moving in, I'm like, wow.
Stand here, and you are standing in what was once the richest city humanity had ever built. 100 years ago, this single stretch of street generated more wealth than most nations on Earth. The mansions had ballrooms and private elevators.
And that's a fact. So off like Grand River and Trumbull, there are these homes. I mean, they like Commonwealth, Trumbull. Beautiful. These houses have libraries, parlors, third floors, historic area, Boston Edison area. Back in the 80s, we went and looked at a house, and I wish my mama would have bought it. It was $80,000 back then. Now these houses going for $1 million in those areas. Yes, we got some beautiful neighborhoods in Detroit. Now we got some ghetto neighborhood, but we got some beautiful areas.
Trees ran to the horizon and never stopped. And today, the grass grows waist-high through the marble. The windows are long gone, and almost no one remembers the names of the people who owned all of this. Walk inside the great train station, 18 stories of limestone and brass, built so that
Now that train station, Ford has bought that over. They have renovated. It had been vacant for about 40 years. Ford then took it, renovated it, redid it, moved their headquarters. They like the CEO and upper management. They are now working and living in there. It wouldn't be shit, Boomy, because I'm talking about Detroit. So I'm going to move past that. I'm not going to let...
its riverfront filled with smokestacks, and its avenues filled with the mansions of men grown rich on iron, lumber, and trade. It was already wealthy, but the fortune that would make it legendary had not yet arrived. At the edge of the new century, Detroit was a city of carriage makers, machinists, and bicycle shops. Exactly the kind of skilled tinkerers who could take a strange new toy called the automobile and figure out how to build it. The air was full of grease and ambition, and one by one, in sheds and workshops across the city, men began bolting engines onto carriages. The first to crack it was Ransom Olds.
And see, and during that time, it was the Great Migration. A lot of black families or the fathers moved to Detroit. They moved to Chicago, went to New York for jobs. Because it was Henry Ford, bitch ass, that came up with this 40-day work week. I mean, 40-hour work week and 2 days off during the week. That was Henry Ford for the automobile. But they came up here because black folks was able to get good paying jobs. And Detroit had the most black home ownership in the country. Oh, you ate? You don't need to be on my channel. You need to get off. So I'm going to skip some of that.
Than double the going wage. Overnight, Detroit became the place you went to change your life. And they came from the American South,
I
from
told
Poland
you.
and Italy and the Middle East. Hundreds of thousands crowding onto trains toward the promise of a factory job.
I just told you.
The city's population exploded faster than almost any in history. And Ford was only the beginning. The Dodge brothers, Walter Chrysler, Ransom Olds, Billy Durant, who built General Motors. They turned Detroit into a furnace of invention and money. The auto barons raised empires along the river, and the city they built together had, for a time, the highest wages and the highest hopes of anywhere in the United States.
Yup.
The money pouring in built one of the most beautiful cities in America. Towering Art Deco skyscrapers, grand theaters with ceilings of gold, whole districts of carved stone. They began to call it the Paris of the West. By the 1920s, Detroit was young, rich, and completely certain that it was the future, because in nearly every way that mattered, it was. Then came Prohibition, and Detroit found a second fortune, an illegal one. Just across that narrow river lay Canada, and the water that had made the city now made it rich again.
And my grandfather, he used to run numbers. And this is by my grandmother. And my mama told me, for the mafia here. The mafia was big here. And so they was selling liquor. That's how they got a lot of their money, selling liquor during the Prohibition when they cracked down on alcohol. And black folk worked for the mafia as far as running numbers. And my granddaddy had a lot of money. He died when I was 5, so... Yeah.
Ran liquor across by boat in summer, and by car over the ice in winter. At its height, most of the illegal alcohol in America poured through this one crossing, and gangs like the notorious Purple Gang ruled the shadows of the boomtown. But a city built on one industry is only ever as safe as that industry. When the Great Depression struck, people stopped buying cars, and the Motor City fell harder than almost anywhere. Plants went dark, and in
Thank you,
1932,
therapy. Love you.
thousands of laid-off workers marched on Ford's Rouge plant to beg for their jobs back. The march ended in gunfire and blood on the snow. The Golden City had shown, for the first time, how fragile it really was. Out of that hardship, the workers found their power. Through the 1930s, the auto men organized, walked out, and occupied the plants until the great companies were forced to recognize their unions. It was bitter and sometimes violent, but it built something extraordinary. A factory job that could support a whole family, and with it, the modern...
Yes, and the factory jobs, now they don't pay like what they used to pay. I think they tap out like at $28 an hour. But back then, black folks was able to buy homes, cars. They sent their kids through college. They did all that. So factory job, if you had a factory job, sorry about that. If you had a factory job, oh shit. Oh, it came back. You was saying something. You was doing something for real. Especially black folk.
American middle class.
Yup.
When the world went to war again, America turned to the one city that could outproduce the entire planet. The auto plants stopped making cars and started making weapons.
Yup.
Bombers rolling off the line at 1 an hour, tanks, engines, and guns without end. They called Detroit the arsenal of democracy, and it was said the war was won not only on the battlefields, but on the assembly lines of this single city. Yet even at that triumphant peak, the ground was cracking. In the summer of 1943, with the plants running day and night and the city crammed with newcomers, tension between black and white Detroit exploded into 3 days of riots.
Facts.
34 people died. It was a warning, written in blood, that the prosperity was not being shared, and that warning would be ignored for another 20 years. After the war came the Golden Age. By 1950, nearly 2 million people lived here, and Detroit had one of the highest average incomes of any city in America.
Facts.
A man with no college degree could walk into a plant and earn a wage that bought a house, a car, and a future for his children.
Didn't I just say that? Don't tell me I don't know what I'm talking about.
Detroit was the place where it was manufactured. And then the city gave the world one more thing, a sound. In 1959, in a small house on West Grand Boulevard,
Yeah.
a former assembly line worker named Barry Gordy.
And this house that they're showing Hitsville is still there today. They have tour. And you know what? I've been in Detroit all my life. I have never been to this house on the boulevard, Hitsville. Never. But people come here and they go there all the time. I ain't never been. Actually, I ain't never wanted to go. But yeah, Hitsville, this building, this house is still there. And the homes that's up and down these streets are still beautiful. Some of them raggedy as hell, but some of them are.
To record label the way Ford built cars. Talent in one door hits out the other. He called it Motown and hung a sign on the house that read simply, Hitsville, USA. Out of that little house came the soundtrack of a generation. The Supremes, Marvin Gaye, The Temptations, Stevie Wonder, Smokey Robinson. It was called the sound of young America, and for a golden moment, Detroit did not only build the nation's machines, it wrote the nation's music and sent it around the world.
Yep.
But beneath the peak, the ground was already shifting. Great new highways were cut straight through the heart of the city, and they were aimed at its black neighborhoods. Thriving districts.
Now that's a fact. Just like they did in every other black city that was prosperous, they either put a highway through it or they put a damn lake through it. They put shit. A park, Central Park was a black neighborhood or a park. They did something, or they just simply just burnt the shit down where black folk was prosperous. And that's what they did. It was called Paradise Valley. It's still some remnants of it that's left, but it's not much. And it ain't nothing down there anymore, but it's like a medical center now. And yeah, they ran the highway through all the black prosperous areas in Detroit. Yeah, they did that. They did that. And you can still see the remnants of that shit today.
Districts called Black Bottom and
Yep.
Paradise Valley, which were bulldozed into rubble and freeway.
Yep.
Banks drew red lines on maps and refused loans to entire communities. The city, at its very height, was dividing against itself. And as the factories began quietly slipping out to the suburbs, the families with money began to follow them, mile by mile, taking their taxes and their futures with them.
That.
The city was hollowing from the inside, and almost no one in charge wanted to admit it was happening. Then it broke open. In the summer of 1967, a police raid on a neighborhood club set off...
Oh, yeah, that's Truth Therapy and Railroad. Absolutely, absolutely. I did forget about that. You right about that, Therapy. Yeah, you're right.
5 days of fire and fury across the city. When the smoke cleared, 43 people were dead. Whole blocks lay in ashes, and army tanks had rolled down the streets of an American city. The uprising of 1967 was a wound Detroit would never forget.
Man, my mama said she was out there looting too in 67. She said I was 1 year old. They had never seen the tanks that rolled down the street, and she had my ass on the porch. She had me at 17. And she said she was bringing home the TVs and all this stuff to my granddaddy. And he wouldn't let her bring that stuff in. He said, no, you can't bring that here. And yeah, I was 1 year old when the riots happened. And yeah, so that's the story that had been passed down to me when the riots happened, and how my mama reacted and all the shit she looted too. And let me tell you, the effects of that is still showing in Detroit today. Woodrow Wilson was a prosperous black, had nothing but black businesses. To this day, 2026, ain't shit on Woodrow Wilson. Nothing. They trying to build it up now with some tiny homes for the homeless and stuff like that. But it ain't shit there. It never recovered. Just like we got neighborhoods from the crack epidemic. It looked like Little Beirut. It has never recovered to this day, 2026. Yeah, he did. He didn't play that. He didn't play that.
Fully heal. In the year that followed, and every year after, they left. Tens of thousands of residents packed up and drove out to the suburbs. And this time they did not come back. A city built for 2 million people began, slowly and then quickly, to empty. Then the very thing that had built Detroit turned against it. The auto industry that once employed the world began closing plants,
Yep.
automating jobs, and chasing cheaper labor far away.
Yep.
The great names went dark one by one. Packard, Hudson, Dodge, Maine. Every factory that closed took a neighborhood.
That building that he just showed is Packard, still there on the boulevard, just in shambles, just ruined. But somebody just bought it like a year or two ago for pennies on the dollar, but they ain't did shit with it because it still look like this.
Down with it. And a city built entirely on one industry had no answer when that industry walked away. In 1974, Detroit elected Coleman Young, its first black mayor, a fighter who would run the city for 20 years. He inherited a metropolis already bleeding people, jobs, and money, a shrinking city surrounded by growing suburbs, and no mayor, however tough, could stop the tide that was pulling it apart.
My grandmama loved Mayor Young. Everybody. They used to have the police called Stress, and they would be four in the car, and they would just wreak havoc on the black community, jumping out of cars, beating up black men, you know, the brutality and all that. Coleman Young stopped Stress. That was the big thing, but people loved him, and he didn't take no shit. He didn't take no shit, and he was one of the most respected mayors the city ever had. And to this day, Detroit still don't have 1 million people in it no more. I think we up to 700,000. That's about it out of 2 million that we used to have here.
The decline became a free fall. By the 1980s, Detroit was being called the murder capital of America, and the crack epidemic tore through its emptying streets.
So did.
On the night before Halloween, arsonists set the hollowed-out city ablaze by the hundreds, a ritual of destruction they called Devil's Night. Detroit was...
Now that's a fact. Every Devil's Night, the YNs came out and they burnt the city down. That happened for many, many years. That actually didn't stop. Shit, to the early 2000s when they started putting patrols out on Devil's Night, because they burnt the city down every year for years. Now that's a fact.
Burning itself down, and the ruins became famous. Photographers traveled from around the world to shoot the empty Packard plant, the collapsing mansions, the silent train station. Pull back the vines, and you could still read all of it. The ballroom where the rich had danced, the factory floor where the century was born. The same walls that had held the peak now held the fall. In 2013, the city hit the very bottom. Detroit filed for bankruptcy, the largest any American city had ever declared, crushed under some $18 billion of debt. It could no longer keep its own streetlights burning. Tens of thousands of homes had their water shut off. 40,000 buildings stood abandoned. From the outside, it looked as though the story was simply over. This was rock bottom, a place that had made more millionaires than almost anywhere on Earth, now unable to pay for the lights. And here, the world wrote Detroit off completely. A ruin, a warning, a cautionary tale of the American century, finished. And that is exactly why its story matters to all of us. Detroit is what happens when a place bets everything on one industry, one idea, one boom it believes will never end, and forgets that nothing booms forever. Every factory town, every gleaming tech city, every capital certain of its own golden future, each of them is, in some quiet way, Detroit before the fall.
Facts.
But this is not where the story ends.
Facts.
Because something had begun to stir in the ruins. Investors started buying up the empty downtown towers for pennies. New companies moved thousands of workers back into the core. Artists covered the dead walls in enormous murals. And slowly, on streets that had stood silent for 30 years, the lights began to come back on. The riverfront, where smugglers once ran liquor, became a promenade full of families.
Facts.
Old factories became studios and workshops. A city that had been left for dead was, block by stubborn block, being reclaimed. Not by governments, but by people who simply refused to give up on it. And then came the symbol of it all. In 2018, the Ford Motor Company, the very family whose machines had built and then abandoned this city, bought the ruined Michigan Central Station, the great empty monument to everything Detroit had lost.
And when I tell you that building is beautiful, it's beautiful. Detroit downtown is so freaking nice. Detroit is back and the white folks is back too. And it is expensive now. It is. I live downtown to 2022 today till I couldn't afford it no more. But I stayed down there, raised my children downtown Detroit. Sure did. And they ran my black ass up out of there.
And promised to bring it back. And in 2024, the impossible happened. The station reopened, restored window by window. Its 18 stories glowed again in the dark, full of light and voices and people. The building that had come to mean the death of a city stood, once more, for its rebirth. From the ashes, exactly as that old motto had promised, it had risen. But the comeback is real, and it is not the whole story. Beyond the bright lights of downtown, whole neighborhoods are still fighting for street lights and grocery stores and hope. Detroit's recovery, like its collapse, is uneven and hard-won. This is not a fairy tale with a tidy ending. It is something better and truer, a real city, refusing to be written off. So stand once more on that corner. The grass still grows through the marble. But now, somewhere across the skyline, a light that had been dark for a generation has come back on.
That's our downtown.
Detroit built the modern world, and then it showed that world just how far a place can fall. And now, slowly and painfully, it is teaching us the last part of the story, how you rise again. Because the Strait was always a gateway, the city that built the century.
Man, and now it's beautiful. Now we still got some. We got some rough neighborhoods now, but yeah, Detroit did make a comeback. It did. I'm proud of my city. Now here we go. Now they going for the people who get food stamps. Now they put Michigan House passes bill requiring a photo on your bridge card and a signature. I don't know if they did it yet. This is just some news you could use. Wait a minute. Yep, so they passes a bill where you require, and this is how our food stamp card look like. So it's going to have your photo and signature on there. Well, we still got a drug problem up here. That's a fact. DEA agents execute several search warrants in Metro Detroit. And they see so much money. They had the dogs out. I think they took all their cars and everything. They came in there like a army. So we still got a big drug problem. I wonder why this stuff not playing. Why isn't this stuff playing? All right, let me turn it back up. Then we had the bus driver that beat up a passenger with a female passenger, had her in a headlock. That happened not too long ago. Look, he really was on that head, wasn't he? He threw off the bus, though. Only in Detroit. He got on the ground. Oh, now here it go. Oh, I see what I was doing wrong. Okay.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Trying not to do it.
Don't do it.
You doing right. We staying right. Don't grab my phone. Yep. I am trying to.
You got footage, you good? She attached you on the bus.
They sure do therapy.
Let me go. I'm I'm on the ground, but you still love me. I'm on the ground, but you still love me. Let my mother go. I ain't even holding you. Exactly. Because you a woman beater.
You ain't no woman beater. You did that shit. You attacked him.
They got that shit.
You attacked him on his butt.
Hey, you lost your job.
Don't do it.
These women is something else. I don't know what to say. There, but you remember when y'all had that in Houston where they had to shut down the hair? We had a similar problem. Here you go.
Look at this shit. OMG. Motherfuckers was camped out in this bitch for free hair. Look, we not getting shit. We're not. The line is wrapped. Oh, we not getting nothing. It's over. Bitches
You
was
see
out
that
there
line?
about this beauty supply shit. Look at the fucking line.
Yeah, we ain't getting nothing.
We'd be stupid to stand in line because
Yeah, we would be stupid.
we not getting it by the time we get up there. Look at this shit.
Same thing.
Damn.
Look at that line for some free hair. I ain't standing in no long line for no free hair. No, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not.
Niggas want to have jail food slot for Thanksgiving, huh? Ain't no way y'all ain't on y'all best behavior for the holidays. You got family flying in, you got family coming back around, you got family living things. Like, come on, man.
I
Y'all
know,
ain't
I
fucking
know
up and
therapy.
Don't see him? Life. In Detroit, you have this 19-year-old shot up a birthday party. His name is Amani Davis. Not only that though, y'all, the gun that he get caught with, oh, this bitch got 2 bodies on it already. Oh, this generation is cooked. These niggas don't care. You riding around with 2 bodies on shit? No. They tell it. Now, this happened near Greenfield and Timer, that the victim had threw a glass vase at the suspect before he was shot. And it's a little sticky situation, y'all. Now, the suspect ex-girlfriend is the victim's sister. Now, they haven't said what started this. I'm assuming arguing with the ex-girlfriend or the brother, that the ex-boyfriend was there, and sis been telling me, like, yeah, nigga, you been putting your hands on my sister. So, unfortunately, he probably lost his life behind it, though. Not only that, though, y'all, he's turkey cooked. They said that he had a switch on that motherfucker, too. So he got a switch to kill
Ooh.
somebody.
Oh,
And
he
the gun
done.
got 2 more bodies on it? No.
He
That nigga get a
done.
jersey now. Now, hear me out now, y'all. Might win this case because it's kind of self-defense. Throwing a glass vase at me, bitch, that's not attempted murder. What if it broke? What if it hit my face and cut me? Anything.
I
Watch
know.
this. They gonna drop that case, but then they gonna charge him with the 2 bodies that's on the gun with the switch. They gonna make him. Matter of fact, whoever sold him the gun, you seen this? You better hide and go. Niggas want to have jail food slot for Thanksgiving.
Man, he had a switch. I thought that switch is a mandatory 10 years, ain't it? Ain't that switch mandatory 10 years? Well, he ain't getting out no time soon, that's for sure. And I don't even know why they do this, because they giving y'all YNs football numbers. Back in the day, if you had a murder, you get 20, 25 years. Y'all getting 125 years, 80 years, 250. I'm like, God, listen.
Nah, this is a Brenda's got a baby type of story. On Thanksgiving in Detroit, a baby was found on the porch. Now, this was near Finkel and Schaefer. Now, the story is that a 16-year-old walked outside and she seen that the baby was on the porch. She picks up the baby, y'all. Then she walking inside to the grandma. It's a baby that was on the porch, right? Grandma like, huh? Let's call the police immediately. Now, luckily, y'all, this story is good because the baby has survived, was taken to the hospital, and it's in stable conditions. I just did a little story the other day about a 16-year-old leaving her baby in a tote bag. Anyway, y'all, come to find out, guess what? Little mama was lying the whole time. She had gave birth at the crib, put the baby outside on the porch, pretend to act like she found it, then said, here. Now, y'all, I got so many questions. My thing is, was the baby born on Thanksgiving? A couple days before? Was she hiding the baby inside the room? How granny?
How the hell you didn't know that the that the child wasn't pregnant? How did you not know? Unless she was big, maybe she was 500 pounds or something. I don't know. Yeah, but sometimes I think that. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna do this story next time. I'm not gonna do this right now because I got 50. So I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna hold this story. We got a bell out here. It's beautiful. And it's always been a park right off the river. That's where they had the fireworks and everything. Right, you should. Right. So now a developer wants to come in. This has been a park. It's a golf course on this park. It's a beach. It's everything. This is where we hung out all the time. And now they want to make it private, build condos, retail, and all this bullshit. I'm totally against it, but they trying to get a trail system, a trail out there.
Now to the
Here you go.
picturesque path finally open on the Jewel of Detroit that connects the city to a 2,000-mile route across Michigan. Today on Sunset Point, organizations gathered and officially opened a new trail system. It connects to the Iron Bell Trail System that has 2 trails going all the way up through the Upper Peninsula. 7 News Detroit reporter Jeffrey Lindblom is on Belle Isle. He heard from joggers, bicyclists, and organizers on this sunny opening day.
Here on Belle Isle, they just opened up 5.8 new miles of the Iron Bell Trail System, which is something that spans 2,000 miles. And right here, they'd like to believe that this is the new launching point.
Hey. We like to say it's the beginning. Of course, I work on Belle Isle, so I'm a little bit biased on that.
Tom Bissett with Michigan DNR says Belle Isle sees 5 million yearly visitors, not including this goose or this squirrel. He says the new trail is a connecting piece for the island to the Detroit riverfront, which he says was simply an answer to a call from the people.
Yeah, I'm excited to turn this back over to the people and let them enjoy it in full.
I think it's a critical part of kind of the next step in Detroit's evolution.
Dwayne Mills and Kenneth Ward are getting a Friday ride-in and agree the new trail not only is looking a lot nicer, but the TLC to the surrounding area is also making them feel a lot safer and more comfortable.
You can really stretch out, you can get in some good exercise, it's scenic, and you don't have to worry about automobiles.
It's cleaner, it's safer, you can use the bathrooms now.
Bikers and the wildlife aren't the only ones.
So let me tell you, Belle Isle used to be, oh my God, I used to hang at Belle Isle. It used to be all black. But now when you go to Belle Isle, it ain't many of us. And the state police is out there to arrest you. The bathrooms never worked, never. But now them bathrooms is clean, they pristine, and you can use them. And now the people that's on that island, it's a few of us, but it's a lot of Arabs and white folk now at Belle Isle. And this Belle Isle is absolutely beautiful. It used to be ours, not anymore. Yep, I'm going to say that for part 2.
So this young lady has reached out to me, Ashla and her mother, Rare. They reached out to me because they have a child that attends Marcus Garvey Elementary Middle School. One of the teachers, she walked in the room, and one of the teachers was acting inappropriately with her child, which is a 5-year-old. DPS been closing the door on her. They haven't been giving her no answers. They banned her from the school. They had a security guard actually escort her from the building without answers. This is the type of shit I say when I mean we got to come together for our own people, because there's no way that they should be able to just do this shit without giving the community an answer, like without just with being able to just shut her out. You know what I'm saying? Like even if it wasn't the case where the teacher probably was doing something inappropriately, it should have been investigated. They should have been given more answers. Blow the news up. Let them know we coming together on this. We're not about to let this shit die down.
Well, that's when you get a lawyer and you sue their ass. That's what that means. You get a lawyer, sue their ass. Shit, because I know one thing, I probably would have been in that bitch fighting about mine. Now this one is downtown Detroit. It's called Hart Plaza.
Look at this shit. A motherfucker that opened up the portal to the Northern Lights with this little machine. Now, the only reason why I'm showing you this, because this shit looks awfully familiar to this motherfucking portal in Detroit.
Facts.
Dog, check it out. This is the portal in Detroit.
Yes.
They even call it a motherfucking portal. It looked just like that shit I just showed y'all in
Yup.
the first video. Exactly the motherfucking same. Why is this here, dog? Why?
Right off the river.
Why are y'all fucking with shit? You keep fucking with shit. I told you, you motherfuckers are evil scientists. That's exactly what you are. Evil motherfucking scientists. You're gonna open up a portal and some shit gonna come out that motherfucker that don't need to come out that motherfucker. Stop doing shit. You motherfuckers just want to let them demons out. You motherfuckers want to unleash some demons upon the whole world. I know that's what you fucking want.
Yep.
I know that's what you want. That's why y'all keep doing this shit with these portals and the particle accelerator and shit. You're trying to destroy this motherfucker. And I don't understand why. This Earth could be a beautiful, amazing place if you evil, demonic motherfuckers would get the fuck on up out of here.
Facts.
That's a big fact. I'm sick of your shit, dog. Peace.
Yeah.
Look at this shit.
That portal has been there for the longest. I never knew it was even a portal. You know what? I never really paid attention because Hot Plaza is where we have our festivals and all that, and shows and concerts and all that. Now, this was terrible what they did to this man. Okay, yep. We about to end it. It's terrible what they did to this man.
Nobody wins when the family feels.
This is the family. I love him.
Yeah. Do you have any money left by any chance? Oh, thank you.
This is the man. He won $100,000.
Brand new car.
He was blessed. He was homeless and he was blessed on one of them kindness shows with Josh. They ended up burning this man alive.
They heard the man hollering for help, and he was tied up. He said they robbed him, some women and some men. But they had him tied up over there in that field. But he saved him.
A man's car torched after he's kidnapped and beaten. Tonight, investigators are going through clue by clue to solve this mystery as that man is recovering right now in the hospital.
Sometimes the biggest blessings can come with the darkest curses. Imagine winning over 6 figures in a brand new car, only to be tied up, burned, and nearly killed just days later. Was it jealousy? Or was it someone close? Or was it the curse of social media itself? Fam, today we got another story to talk about, and this one gonna hit deep. It's a man in his 60s that just survived one of the most brutal attacks you can imagine. He was tied up, set on fire, and left to die in an empty field. But by the grace of God, he lived to tell his story. But according to the feds, he's not telling the full story. But here's the twist. Just 1 week earlier, this same man had gone viral after being blessed by a famous YouTuber who we'll later discuss, who gifted him $100,000 plus in cash and a brand new car. From the outside looking in, you'll think his life turned around overnight. But like we always say, with blessings come hate. And in this case, somebody was watching. Or even worse, it was somebody he knew, watching him from the very beginning. Now, I know a lot of people thinking this now thus far, and I'm going to say this out the gate, fam. I personally don't believe that the YouTuber had anything to do with this.
No,
to
he
me,
didn't.
It was just given from the kindness of his heart. So
Josh go around the whole country blessing homeless people and giving them money, houses, and shelter. Josh does this, and he raises money for certain people.
Social media is a double-edged sword. What makes you go viral and celebrated one day can also put a target on your back the next. So in this video, I say let's break it down. The blessing, the attack, the strange details the victim gave police, and the hunting possibility that it wasn't strangers who set him up, but maybe someone he loved most. So before we go over this, I want you guys to remember, I don't give you no angle. I just give you the story. So
This is the family. I love him. This is the family.
we'll jump right to it. Now, fam, before we go over these details, I want you to put something in the back of your mind before we continue. For you to be zip-tied, burned on fire, held for ransom, and put in an empty field, what will make you not give police the full story? Let's continue. Fam, meet MD Motivator. He's a Canadian YouTuber / TikTok creator whose real name is Zachary. He built a massive following across TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram by focusing on acts of kindness, emotional connect, and motivational content. He went to Australia for medical school, University of Sydney, but later shifted into content creation full time. Originally, he wanted to become a doctor.
I'm gonna move past this.
Etc. Pushed his reach into millions. Speed. If he could pick out one person from the crowd to get this car, who he felt like basically needed it. And it was key looking at this video because he didn't really want the attention on him. He wanted IShow Speed because he was the biggest name, to just be a part of his feel-good moment. And of course he recorded. Check it out.
You want to take a car away with you right now to the bowling alley? A car? Brand new car waiting outside. A fresh car? Fresh car. Like a new car to somebody? Yes, sir. Brand new car. Yeah. Anyone that's kind to you that works here, you can pick the person out. You say, we'll put a blindfold on them, walk them outside, give them a brand new car. All right, man.
I love Zach. It's Josh and this is Zach. I love Zach. But I'm going to go past this because I want to get to the story about Detroit. Here it goes.
I'm going to get security to help you. Stay right here. Come here.
Are you sure? No,
Yeah. Just step right here. Come on.
You're good. Thank you. God bless you.
Yeah, man. Stand around here. I'll turn around and get some security with you, man.
Why'd you help me?
God told me to help you.
What's your name?
My name is Curtis.
I'm Zach.
But that's how Curtis got blessed through Zach. Let's get to the part what they did to him.
I'm not blind.
How many fingers I got?
2.
What's going on?
Just trying to find the first kind person that'd be nice to me. I got something for you, Chris. I got $1,000 cash for you, Curtis.
I love Zach.
You're amazing, man.
Okay, so I'm gonna move past this part. So he was blessed.
Oh, my God. You better sit down.
You ran to help me that day.
And that beautiful blessing turned into someone making a plot. Monday, September 1st, 2025, 60-year-old Curtis was apparently kidnapped with attempts to be extorted and lit on fire in the process. The Detroit Police Department launched an investigation, which was later taken over by the ATF. According to the police report, Curtis was taking the ATMs to withdraw money, beaten, tied up, and his vehicle was set on fire, the new vehicle that he won. Now, it's crazy because the vehicle wasn't necessarily shown on social media. It was just presented to him.
They heard the man hollering for help. I think he was tied up. He said they robbed him, some women and some men. But they had him tied up over there in that field over there. But he saved him.
And the reason why that neighbor knew so much is because, according to the police report, a neighbor was able to pull him out. And according to sources, the man was taken to Southwest Detroit and was transported 15 miles to the city east side, where he was apparently left for dead inside his burning SUV. One neighbor said, I woke up, I was like, what's going on? Why all these alarms? The dogs are barking and everybody is going crazy. There was a little boom of a car explosion. Now, the feds say some inconsistencies in Curtis' story. And I want to point something out. The neighbors know so much, even though the woman was involved. Not even saying they said the identity. I'm sure even Curtis know who did it. And they probably thought he was dead. And 9 times out of 10, it was someone Curtis knew, and possibly family, to make him not want to say nothing. And then you ask, where was the wife? Where was his grandkids or his kids? Only Curtis. And they made him go to ATMs, and they still decided to burn up his vehicle. What'd that tell you?
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
A man's car torched after he's kidnapped and beaten. Tonight, investigators are going through clue by clue to solve this mystery as that man is recovering right now in the hospital.
Sounds like something out of the movies, but it was a reality for a Detroit man. This is what's left of his vehicle, just a charred mess right here, as you can see. Here, it happened on the 18,000 block of Mount Elliott. Karen, it was an absolute nightmare. It happened around 5 o'clock this.
Oh, and this scandalous over there off Mount Elliott. That's a scandalous neighborhood. That's Detroit East Side. It's scandalous.
Yeah, there's a lot of pieces to this puzzle, so let's break it down for you. Police sources telling us the man was actually outside of his building at the 8700 block of Verner, so that's that location there on the map. Then he was taken against his will, according to the man and police. He was taken some 10 miles away to the 18,000 block of Mount Elliott. That's where that car was torched, and this is where we find Victor Williams for the latest in terms of what happened next when they got to this field, Victor.
Yes, hey there, Ty and Karen. So that man was actually placed inside of that car. It was torched. We're holding a piece of the emblem right here from right in front, but you can actually see all the burnt remains, and thankfully it's a miracle that this man is still alive.
So he was trying to kill him, I guess.
On this Labor Day, one man in his 60s is happy to still be alive after being kidnapped.
That's a damn shame. That's a damn shame.
There were other people out here who said they heard the man hollering for help, and he was tied up. And he was saying they robbed him, some women and some men.
Barry Smith heard the explosion Monday morning.
I didn't think nothing of it. I'm just thinking that somebody, stole a truck and trying to burn it up. But then when the ambulance came and the police were here, I knew it was something more than that, because the police and ambulance don't come just for a burning truck.
With the SUV still visibly smoking, cops made it to the scene just in the nick of time to save the man.
He was able to stand
Facts.
up. He was naked.
He was naked.
They put him on the gurney and put him in the ambulance.
Turns out he had been taken from his home on Verner Highway. Here's video of police swarming that area for the investigation as well. The most surprising part is the man barely showed any signs of being hurt.
He wasn't injured. He was bleeding out his head, so they must have hit him upside the head.
Barry says his main concern was his companion.
Then he started complaining about go check on my wife. And that's when, so they had to be together somehow. He said something about a safe, he wants some money.
While the investigation continues into who's responsible, it's almost unbelievable the victim survived after coming so close to death.
Thank God he's okay. He's blessed, because this would have been a major crime scene.
And once again, here are the charred remains of that vehicle. It really shows you just...
Man, another day in Detroit. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, hit the like button. I'm coming right back with the collapse of New York City.